I come home from my traveling yesterday in about 10 o'clock in the morning. But I have been sleeping most of the time. I have not done much in my home because I was so very sleepy after 24 hours traveling. And my brain is what it is. So it was really bad condition in my brain. So it was only to take off the clothes and eat something and then go to sleep, and then I sleep until now in the morning. Now is it, I don't know what it is, maybe a lunchtime in Sweden. And it's time for me to go to bed again because I feel me very sleepy now. But I wanted to talk to you about my traveling first before I go to sleep. And it was very bad when I going to Tel Aviv. Yeah, and come to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem hotel at my birthday. I was thinking I should have been there for 2 days and then go out and celebrate my birthday in some way. But it happened that I come 3 o'clock in December 10 to Jerusalem and the hotel, and my birthday is December 9, so it was already over. So I didn't celebrate my birthday, and I'm not into celebrate, but I want to do something a little extra that day. Most of the time I go and eat something nice at the place, or go. I can easily travel to Denmark and eat in Denmark and get some different food to eat, and that way celebrate myself. But in other way I don't celebrate myself. I don't want to have any gifts because it's not about me. That is my belief. Today, it have not been like that my whole life. But today is it that it's not about celebrate my life. It's celebrate. We can celebrate that we thank God that we are still alive here today. That when I say to someone happy birthday, I don't say happy birthday. I say congratulations to reach where you are today in your age. It's many people that die young, and some people never be born. They are already dead inside the womb. So that is not about celebration me. It's celebration God that He kept us, that heaven kept us. So I thought that was a bad trip when I traveled to Jerusalem, but at least I was staying in a nice hotel with very nice breakfast, and that was only for me. Was it only about money? And money is not God. And some of you have helped me to not be worried that it was a delay in Copenhagen, that I have to pay for 2 nights in a hotel, luxury hotel, and then I also have to pay for extra airline ticket, and then I didn't have any hotel or a taxi waiting for me in Jerusalem when I was coming there. But that was the little problem I had. I didn't. I don't know the future, so I thought it was very hard trip that I did there. But it was mostly about it was not about the time that I lost, but and it was not about the money because you cover me. Some of you support me with money and you cover me in this way, and I had to pay an insurance against to be sick in COVID-19 and lay at the hospital, and Sweden have to pay for it. My insurance have to pay for it, but I never got sick. People were sick all over around me when I was in Jerusalem, and the last thing I heard that the Jewish woman that gave me food sometimes when she was working, she gave me food, and it was not all was not Jewish food, so I saw that was not from her. It was something she grabbed from donations because there was pork in it, but I have to eat it because I was hungry. I had no and couldn't walk out so much, and she was very sick the whole time when I was staying there. And I tell you, this is for you to learn from. I saw a spirit standing. It was a gray shadow, a normal size of a person that was standing between me and she, and then it was this manager for the kitchen, and he say he didn't believe in God, and I said to them there because they wanted money from me. All people that working in the hotel wanted money from me because they thought I was very rich, and they have been taught by American hotel guests that they give much extra money. I saw them giving money to all the workers, and they did damage for us that doesn't want to do these kind of things. It's like they will. I have lived in the United States, and I have lived in many places in the United States, and I tell you that to give money like they did in secret, but I saw them when they did it, and that's a way that I own you. You are my slave. It's about power. It's not about they want to give you money because they feel sorry for you. They buy you with those money. It's different to see it, but God showed me and tell me the truth. The truth about it is to get the power of the workers there. And so I told them, I am here because God called me to be in Jerusalem for the fourth time. And the fourth season, I have been in all 4 seasons in Israel for a reason. And I told them, I have never ever given extra money to people in the hotel because I have already paid my money to the hotel. I have paid for my breakfast, I have paid for my room, and I say to them that I can give some money to those that cleaning my room, because sometimes I'm too tired to clean it up by myself, so they have much work to do in my room to look if there is something they should take away. And they did that in Jerusalem. They took away what they thought was trash. They took away my pizza in my refrigerator and trash it. And I say, I prefer cold pizza. I like cold pizza more than warm pizza. And they say, here in Israel, we if there is a cold pizza we think that's, you don't eat it anymore, and so we trash it. And I say, I have been working as a cleaner in hotel rooms in Sweden when I was younger, and it was no to the refrigerator. As long as the hotel guest is staying at the hotel, you don't go into their refrigerator. That I learned from, I work between the schools at a hotel, hotels that was the best hotels you can get in my city, and it was I met many stars there that lived there at the hotel. So that was the real rules for hotel cleaners. But those people took away so very much of what I wanted to keep. And so that's why I was so happy to give them. And then it was many different every day. It was not one that did it, and they could come in when I was there. They have not any report. Already I was a cleaner in I think it's in the middle of the 90s in Sweden, and we had a computer system that tell us when the guests have left the room for forever for that time, and they have so that we could go in when they have given back the key to the room. Then we could go in, and we could go in and take out everything that they have left behind, but not when the guest is still in that room for 4 weeks. You don't go in and take their private things. And so I left behind all these coins. I never use the coins. I pay with a paper money, and I had lots of coins with me from 2016 when I was there. But now I knew when I left that I should not come back to Jerusalem, at least, because Israel is a country and it's not a religion. Israel was a man that got that name. It was a person. It was not a country. So I may be never coming back there. So I left all the coins I had. So it was lots of money, but much coins. But it was much money. And so it was this restaurant manager was there at the desk when I come down. When I have eaten breakfast, he was there at the office desk, and it was this kind of very hard, rude Muslim man that sit there. at the desk office, and he had not been there before. And he was, I asked, when should I leave the room? And he said, before 12 o'clock, he said. And I say, can't I get a little more time to stay in my room? And the breakfast manager say that to him, she has staying here 1 month, so we could at least give her 1 hour more in the room. So I got it, and I could go to my room and sleep 1 hour after breakfast, but I was going very bad in my stomach. It was like God wanted or heaven wanted me to clean up my system before I leave Israel. So, and I wanted to make sure that I go to the airport. So for me was it to go take taxi first to be safe in this way that I am coming to the airport. And I also have paid before. I have paid it in Sweden, the taxi. So it was money, very much money for me to pay if I should take another taxi. So I come to Tel Aviv airport, Ben Gur airport, and the taxi driver bragged that he was so good in service, but he left me outside in the parking lot for a taxi, and I didn't know where to go. So I go to a security guard and ask where can I go when I am disabled and need assistance in the airport, I said. And he told me where to go, and that was just inside the airport. And sitting down on, you see the picture of this terrible chairs to sit. It's okay to sit there if you sit not more than 1 hour, but for me was it about 9 hour to sit, and that was very hard to do that in that such of chairs. And the people that I gave them my passport and told them when I am leaving, and I was leaving just at midnight, and I was there about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they say that you can't sit here the whole time, they say to me. You have to walk away to somewhere else. You can go and sit and eat somewhere, they say. But I say, I am here to sit here to get help from assistance. I can't walk. I say to them, I can walk a little, but I can't walk for a long time, I say to them. I can certainly only fall on this floor, and those floor they have is this concrete rock floor, so it's very hard if you fall there. And so I sit down, and they didn't understood me, and I say, like I have talking about in the other episodes, that I need to be in a lunchroom where it's not so much noise going on. I say to them, and he say that took care of me, this British that I could go and eat somewhere else. So he thought it was like lunch to eat. But for me it was the priority to get quiet around me. I know I couldn't sit there with all people coming into the airport. That was the main airport for a taxi, for they that come with taxi and buses. I couldn't sit there with all the noises. And so I have told you that I was sitting to rent cars, and I say I don't want to eat. I have just had breakfast. I want to have a lunch room. And they told me later on that the lunchroom was after the check-in desk. And a check-in desk is about 2 hours before the airplane is leaving. And that didn't help me. I could pay for that, but I didn't need that for only 2 hours, because being assistance things, it's much that happen in that time between you have check-in and then the airline leaving. So that's not necessary at all. They need to think that people need to sit down and have a calm place to be in before check-in and get much more money for that. And then I come into the Tel Aviv airport, and I got assistance about 10 o'clock in the evening, and I was sitting there for disabled people to get assistance, and after 4 hours I was very much, I need to go to the toilet, I have to pee. And I said to this woman that you have in the picture that I need to get help to come to the toilet. I say to her, I needed to be in the toilet, but she didn't listen. She ignored me total. I was the only one sitting there and wait. So she could be this dominating evil person to me. I was screaming to her, I need assistance to go to the toilet. And then I talked to God about it. So after about 50 minutes, maybe she wanted to give it to the other person that come, because then after 50 minutes it's changed. So another woman come that was more listen to people, more service, but not good service person, but at least better than the other person. And I say I need to get help to come to the toilet, I say to her. And she say, I'm going to call for it. And I should have been very, very worried if I didn't have, I have diapers on me since the COVID-19, because I don't want to go to the toilet when it was this, and am the spreading of this disease. So that was I not worried, but I didn't want to waste the diaper I had on me if I could come to the toilet before I pee on myself. And then it's come a woman with a wheelchair and helped me. And she be very upset that they didn't help me, that first woman didn't help me. She said, we are a business here in the airport. She taught me that this was a business, a company that is in Tel Aviv airport that have this work to help people that is disabled. And she said that it's only to call us, but my telephone doesn't work in Tel Aviv, Israel, because it's not because I didn't pay the slip for it. It's because it's old telephone, and I will try to save up money to get a new telephone now, after being in Jerusalem, and she say that, and she brag about their beautiful toilet they have at the airport. It's like more like in Russia. They love to have statues and people sit under a statues and starving to death. It's only to how it looked like for other countries and other people, but in reality is it not nice countries. And so it was this automatic things, everything was automatic. But that is not impressed for me, because I have been in like Berlin in Germany, and they have the same toilet system in the 80s. So that it doesn't impress me. And then I come. She helped me to check in this woman, and she was nice woman. And I come through the everything, and I got this. She say I can't walk in on the other side of check-in. I'm not allowed there. So she left me there, and I got a cart that I had when I come to Israel at 3:00 in the night. I go with them, so that was the same. So I understand the system now. But I shake my head that she couldn't walk in there, and I go with this cart to the gate, and that gate was for people waiting to fly to Istanbul, Turkey. Those most Muslim people. I was the only woman that didn't have those clothes on me. And I sit there and waiting for a long time. And then I was thinking the Istanbul airplane, it was delayed 1 hour. But it was in that time, and I was thinking the airplane is coming after this Istanbul airplane is leaving the platform, and then it's coming in. I was thinking, and you know, my brain doesn't work in some cases. So maybe it was true that they call for us that the gate was changed, that we have to go to another gate. It maybe was true, so, but my brain had closed because I was sitting and rest and waiting. So suddenly a man come. Is there anyone that is going to Helsinki? He said Helsinki is the capital of Finland. Are anyone going to Helsinki? He said, and ran away. And those young people could run with him. But I have to put in this, what he say, in my brain first. Manual. It was not automatic for me. And they have already left. And the bad thing, it was that I sit there in the gate, in what it should be the gate, and a woman come and asked me if I could speak English, and I said yes. Are you going to Helsinki? She said. Yes, I say, that's why I sit here. But when they come and say we have to change the gate, she never told that man, the young man, that I was there and I needed to go to Helsinki. He ran away with those young people, those that is not disabled. And the system in the airport should be that they know I had assistance, so they have to take me to that gate as an assistant. It doesn't. They have computer system in Israel, but it doesn't really work. Um, so it should be placed in there that someone need to come and get her because we changed the gate, because the gate was on the other side of the main. I was in the main part of the airport, but it was on the other side of the airport. So it was very far away from me to walk with my bad, not legs. I say to people all the time, my legs look like it's very bad, but it's the brain that make me look like that. The brain make me not could grip things or could walk like that. I am disabled in some parts of the brain, and I have said that to them sometimes when it's time to could say that I have been laying under a car. I survived, but I got damage in my brain from it, and and I'm glad that it doesn't took my intellectual part of the brain. So I am thankful. I could have been killed, and I could have taken out all my memories, everything. I maybe not could talk, but this was only my brain in the part of moving around with the body, and to see things. Sometimes I don't see if it's something coming very close to me or running around me, then it be very disturbing in my brain. But that's small thing that I can overcome, and I think God will heal me after this. He wanted me to be disabled to see how people treat me, and so they say, hurry up, they are on their way to close the gate. The airplane is leaving, they say to me, but they didn't help me to come to the gate. They only screaming at me, you need to... It was a man that come that was a manager for the airport, and he's screaming, they are closing the gate, you have to run. He's screaming at me, and I have told him already that I couldn't walk, and I was frightened that the gate should be closed, and the airplane was left, have leaving. And then it should be like I had a, a time for next flight in Finland to take to Copenhagen, and then I should miss it. And then they maybe should say that I have to stay in a hotel in Finland, and I wanted to go home. I was so tired of everything, and I was scared about it. But they, I come to the gate, and the airplane have not left, but they have closed the gate. And that woman that met me, she was very, very angry at me, screaming at me, very angry. And I say it's not my fault, because I had assistance to the other gate, and now I didn't have anything. They run away from me, and I can hardly walk. I say to her, I was very tired, so my brain was not working so good, but I could manage it. But I say it was not my brain that did it. It was heaven that held me up so I didn't fall. And so I got on the airplane, and I told the hostess, those that working in the airplane, and people around were sitting and say that they did wrong things to me. They left me behind. I have already checked in, so they have my name on their list, and it should be on the list that I was needed assistance on the airport. It's easy for other airport to place those things on the list that she need assistance. So those that working inside the airplane understood, because they saw it also that I was disabled. It was very hard for me to be in the airplane because I had walking, been in stress in my brain, and tired, very tired. And so I had to go to the toilet because I have been this upset, so I have to take away the water that wanted to come out. So it was up in the air, and I said to this stewardesses is called in English, I think, those women there, I say, I need help, because when I go up from my seat, my pants going down, I say, so I need to cover behind me so they don't see it. I say, it was not that I couldn't go up from the seat, but that was I had lowered my weight in Jerusalem. So I think my body start to heal because I am a little less big on my legs now, and so I would tell you if I be healed after I have done all these things. When I start to walk in God's and heaven's will, I was okay. I maybe had some high blood pressure medicine, but nothing else. I have no diabetes or those issues I have with the body. That I got when I come to United States, and I didn't have anything. I was homeless, and that started. Everything was terrible when I come to United States. I was sick. I was homeless. I had nothing. I was zero 50 from when it started. So I was very needed in the United States, but didn't get any help. And now I was for the fourth time to Jerusalem and had needs because I was disabled and no one helped me. And God wanted me to see if He sent the most poor, the most needed person that can walk in the streets, be in the streets, not laying in the hospital, but in the street. He wanted to test people about that for me in 22 years, because I'd be more sick when I come back to Sweden, when I could calm down in Sweden, because I come back to my own country and could speak 100% Swedish and tell them. And then when I relax to have this holding in, surviving way to make my life when I was in the United States, I could relax from that surviving. And then I got worse things coming out from that holding in, the panic, holding in to could survive when in the beginning I had no food to eat for 4 days. I was starving, and I was thinking I should take the food from the restaurants that was outside, but the birds come before me, so I didn't want to eat when the birds was jumping on the food. So I didn't know what to do, but God told me to take contact with churches and get help from them, but there was no help. It was help, but in that way the world see it in money. So I could get $10 in a church sometimes, and then I could get old food that those grocery store was not allowed to sell anymore. It was out of date. It was rotten food we eat. And so there was no help in the United States. There was no help in Israel. And lies, martial lies, thieves. And so I come to Finland, and I had assistants that drive me to the gate I should be. And then he left me, and he said, it's coming another person that help you with this assistance. But I sit there and no one come and help me. And then the airplane start to be full. And I saw it was people that have not really buy a ticket. I think they have some that you can buy many tickets, and if there is a free seat on the airplane, you can go on there. So I start to be frightened when I saw that these people have something else than a flight ticket. And I walked to the desk and said, it was supposed that I should be helped here to the airplane by assistance. So those in the desk, they helped me with a wheelchair and drove me to the airplane. And then I got another ticket that make me sit more in the front, but it was in the back for me. It was a long way to go. And then at the in the airplane. It was, I don't know how many it was, but half of these people that was going. No, I say wrong here. Those people that was flying from Tel Aviv to Finland, half of the airplane was sick. They were coughing, sneezing, and one boy, Jewish boy, 2 seats rows from me, in front of me, puke. He puke and puke and puke. So it was illness all over the airplane. And especially that one that was sitting close to me, but on the other side of the airplane. He was so extremely sick, and he put his paper that he sneezing in and had all kind of things in it, and when he placed it in his pocket. It was so nasty. And so first time he started coughing, and I heard it was not a normal coughing. I put on me my mask. I have this real mask that you should have, this with ventilation on the side that block everything. And then I have my glasses on, so that stopped also. So I needed to have that the whole way, and it was very hard on the airplane because they were flying very high up. I think it was the most high they could fly with this airplane, and it'd be so very hot inside the airplane. So I have to put the finger under the mask could breathe. So, but I hope it stopped all this diseases. And I had 2 women on the right side of me. They have masks on from the start, and they were sleeping the whole way. They don't want to have anything to drink or eat. But I eat and drink and hope I get protection from to be sick. And if I be sick, it's in the will of God and heaven then, for some reason. But I am not. I am okay just now, but it's only 1 day since I was on the airplane, and I have tried to do everything to protect me when I'm coming home also. I had delivery of food to my home, and I told him I have been out and flying, so we have to protect us. So he closed my door. We were not close to each other, and he say I need to protect me because I have a little one at home. He say, and I say, I don't want to make anyone to be sick. I am for life and not for death. And then when I come to Copenhagen, that woman that helped me, the assistant, she was good in this and nice. And she speaks Swedish, so I could start to speak Swedish, but it's coming in this English for me because I have talking English for 1 month. And then I say to her that I have a taxi order before I left Sweden. So the man, it was okay, he come and helped me into the taxi. But when we were on our way, drive back to Sweden, drive over the bridge between Sweden and Denmark, and then to my city, he was the whole time was on his way to fall to sleep, and he fall to sleep sometimes, and I have to wake him up. And I say it's very much traffic was it between Copenhagen and to my place, to my city. It was many laundry tracks, big tracks. We could have easily been killed. But in that way also, heaven hold it up. So I talk the whole time to him, to hold him, to be awake. And then when the last, on our way to get the accident with a taxi car, I say, have you working the whole night? And he say, I drink a little water. And he say, I have been working the whole night, and you are the last customer for me. Then I go home to sleep. And I say, laughing, I always laugh when it's very dangerous. Then I be the opposite. I don't be scared, I be more to joke and be happy and these things. So I say that, but you don't need to sleep in the car. You have to wait until you come home, I say to him. It was about 5-6 times. He was driving over on the other file. This we have right side traffic, but he was in the middle of the road highway, and he going to the right side to those big trucks that was going there in the other, that traffic that going slower are, and only way to crash into them 5-6 times. So I was so very happy when we come to my home about 10 o'clock, because all of those Muslim driver we have here in Sweden, they drive very, very fast. They are not thinking that they drive a person in their car. I don't think they want to kill themselves, but they don't care about those people that give them money to drive them back to their home. And so he was. He drove very fast, and then he fell to sleep. So it was very dangerous. But I come home here, and I have washed all my clothes, and I have changed all the clothes. I have taken a shower. I have done everything to not come home with any diseases. But I never know. But I believe that heaven will hold me, because I maybe have more to do, and I believe that you that help me with support will to pay this SoundCloud's podcast recordings. You pay for 1 year. So I believe that at least 1 year heaven will hold me to could talk to you about these important things from heaven. And I have a touch of heaven now. And I don't know if they want to talk about something, or if they only are with me here. I have to wait for them, but just now I am on this to end, because I have told you about my traveling back home, and then I will talk about other things later on, what I saw, what God wanted me to see and hear in Israel. And I can't talk about that when I was in Israel. I had to come back to Sweden first to tell you what's going on in Israel. So next episode will, I think it will be about what I saw and heard in Israel that is not good. If you are for Israel in all the ways, then I'm sorry, I need to tell you the truth, because God sent me to Jerusalem to tell you the truth about what's going on. It's not about the past, it's what's going on just now, to 2023. I was there until the January 2nd, 2023, so I can tell you what is going on there today, and not for 10 years ago, like that. A spirit is saying this, hear us. They started to say that. No matter what you think, this will be the truth. She and the spirit, I see, it pointed to me, and the spirit is saying, she holds the truth for you, and no one else holds the truth what's going on today. He said, you can read and be taught and teach about the past, but she is here in this generation to tell you the truth. This is very strong spirit pointed to me, but he is like a monk, because he have dark brown clothes like those monk had. So he maybe was monk in his life here on earth. And he pointed out that I'd be so happy. I'm not frightened, I'd be happy. And now I'm not in any problems. So now I'm laughing because I'm happy. And she says, he's still pointed at me, and he's saying that she is our sender to you, to the world. She's, and this scared me much, because he said, and we will send her. I hope not to Israel far away. But we will send her. It can be a spirit thing that I talk to you like I do in this podcast you're talking about. Because send is only to take me to a direction. It's not about airplane or a car or something like that. So he said that you need to still listen at her podcast, because we are here with you, for yourself, not for a whole group of people, but for you personal, to come to know us and come to know God in the truth and in the spirit. We love you. He stopped saying things and he said, we love you. That's the end of it. So you got the message. It's not me that's saying this. I only is a messenger from for heaven, because they told you in one episode for a long time ago. They say that in the episode, I use my mouth for to talk to you. So it's not me that talking, but they use my mouth so you can hear it. So thank God, thank heaven, I'm home again. And I'm so happy, and I pray that nothing illness will touch my body, because there it was much going on when I'm traveling back to Sweden. Thank you for listening. I love you also. It's not only heaven. I love you, all my friends, all my followers. It have nothing with the support to do, with money support to do. It's heaven that want you to send me some money so I can do the work for God. It's not me. I'm okay here in Sweden now when I'm home. I have the money I need to have, if it's not like now I need a new computer system because they are old. My telephone doesn't work anymore. It's like a camera only, and it's not sending those photos. Very hard to send the photos. It takes a long time before it. Oh, I'm sending something. So it starts to be very bad. So that's the money I need to save up to could pay the website and pay those other podcast platform I have, and then to start to save up for first the new surf plate that I'm recording this in this platform, and it's since I was in Jerusalem last time, not last time but 2016 I bought the surf plate, so it start to be bad, going bad, so I need to buy me a new one. And then the communication with my laptop, it was old when I bought it in just when the pandemic come, about 2020, and it was already old laptop I bought from a Muslim man. I don't know, because there was not a Swedish keyboard on it, but it was a little fun that most of the time I write English, so it was okay anyway. So that's what it is, but I have all the comfort things here in my home, this to could eat food, good food, and to not waste food. It's real food. And then take a shower, be clean, and wash my clothes. Those basic things I have. I don't have so much money for those extra things like computer and to buy me my websites and those platforms for a podcast to be on. There is some issues that have with money to do, but I was praying to God to let my computer be okay in Israel until I come back to Sweden at least. and it did, even if it's going very bad sometimes. But it's okay. It's okay till now, but I need something to recording my podcast for you and place it on platforms. So thank you. Thank you for helping me.